It was just after 11:30 p.m. when Ethan, a 21-year-old college student, decided to hit the road for a spontaneous midnight drive. He had always loved the calming solitude of night drives. The roads were quiet, almost deserted, and there was something peaceful about it. His destination was unclear. He simply wanted to drive through the sleepy countryside outside his small town. The moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the windy road. As he drove further, the trees lining the road thickened, their shadows stretching long across the pavement. There were no streetlights there, just the beam of his headlights cutting through the dark. At exactly midnight, something strange happened. His radio, which had been playing soft music, crackled and cut out. The dashboard lights flickered. Ethan frowned, glancing down at his phone for any sign of signal. No bars. Then, up ahead, a sign appeared at the side of the road, illuminated only by his headlights. It read, "Stop. Read the rules before you drive further." The sign was old, its paint chipped and faded, but the words were unmistakable. Ethan slowed the car and pulled over, the gravel crunching under his tires. He got out of the car, the cold night air biting at his skin. There, nailed to a tree beside the road, was a large wooden board. Scribbled across it in red lights were the rules. Rules for driving at midnight. Rule number 1. Do not exit your car after midnight. Rule number 2. Do not pick up hitchhikers. Rule number 3. If you see a woman in white, keep driving. Rule number 4. If your radio turns on by itself, do not listen. Rule number 5. Never, under any circumstances, turn off your headlights. Ethan chuckled nervously. Some local kids probably put this here as a prank, he thought. A clever one, but a prank, nonetheless. Shaking his head, he got back into his car and continued down the road. A few miles later, his radio crackled back to life. By this time, it wasn't music. It was a voice, low, whispering, barely audible beneath the static. Turn back. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. He glanced at the radio, but the volume knob was already turned down. He tried to switch it off, but the voice persisted, growing louder. Turn back, or she'll find you. His blood ran cold. She? The woman in white? He didn't even believe in ghosts or curses, but the voice was too unsettling to ignore. He pressed his foot harder on the gas, speeding down the road. That's when he saw her. A woman, standing in the middle of the road, dressed in a flowing white gown. Her face was pale, her hair hanging in the damp strands over her eyes. Ethan's instincts screamed at him to stop, but then he remembered the third rule. If you see a woman in white, keep driving. His hands gripped the steering wheel as he swirled around her. His heart pounding in his chest as he passed. He could have sworn he heard a low, mournful wail. He didn't look back. Minutes passed in tense silence. The road stretched on endlessly, the trees blurring by. Ethan's knuckles were white on the steering wheel. The urge to turn around to check if the woman was still there was overwhelming, but he kept his eyes forward. Suddenly, his headlights flickered. For just a moment, the road ahead vanished into darkness. Panic surged through him. Never turn off the headlights, the sign had said. He slammed his fist into the dashboard, and the lights blinked back on, casting the road in their pale glow once more. But something was wrong. The trees were gone. The road was gone. He was driving to an endless void. The house followed beneath him, the only thing tethering him to reality. His radio crackled again. She's behind you. Ethan's heart hammered his chest against his bad judgment. He glanced in the rearview mirror. There she was, the woman in white, sitting in the back seat, her hollow eyes locked onto his. His screams echoed through the night as his headlights flickered on last time, and then went out. The next morning, Ethan's car was found on the side of the road, abandoned. The keys were still in the ignition, the headlights off. No one ever saw Ethan again. But some say if you drive at some road at midnight, you can still hear his voice on the radio, whispering a warning to those who pass by. The rules were there for a reason. Always read them before driving at midnight.